All right, let's get going on example 4. So again, we are missing a side of a right triangle, which means we need to use trigonometry or sine, cosine, and tangent to help us solve, because we only have one side of the triangle that we know the length of, and we're given one of the angles in addition to the right angle, which tells me I can use sine, cosine, and tangent. All right, so the first step, I'm going to label the different parts of my sides of the right triangle so I know which trig function to use, because depending on what I'm given will tell me which function to use. Alright, so we're starting from angle 21. That's the angle that was given to me. That's not the right angle, so be careful. Alright, so x is directly across from the 21 degrees. So what do you guys think? Is this side the opposite side, the adjacent, or the hypotenuse? Well, it's the side across from the angle, which means it's the opposite side. So I'm going to label that as O. Now 12 is the side directly across from the right angle. So what do you guys think 12 is? Holy hot dog, that would be the hypotenuse. Okay, so I have an opposite and a hypotenuse. Which trig function has an opposite and hypotenuse? Well, tangent is opposite over adjacent, so that one's not it. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so rat's not it. But sine is opposite and hypotenuse. I have an opposite and hypotenuse, so guess what? I'm going to use sine to help me solve. So I'm going to say sine. I'm going to put the angle on the inside of the parenthesis, which is the 21 degrees. And that will equal the opposite over the hypotenuse. So the opposite side we said was x, and the hypotenuse side is the 12. Alright, so from here, remember, we're going to write sine over 1, because when we have a fraction equal to a fraction, guess how we solve? We cross multiply. So let's get started. Alright, I'm going to go this way first. 1 times x is x. And that will equal, let's go the other way. Sine of 21 times 12. Don't forget, we put the number in front of the trig function. You don't have to do it that way, but again, mathematicians are kind of mean. They will seriously judge you if you do sine 21 then 12. So I'm just saying, I'm trying to help you out in the long run. So this will be 12, and then sine of 21 degrees. Alright, and then to find the side length, you either need to type into your calculator or Desmos. Okay, which again, since I already changed my calculator into degrees, I'll check it. Remember, you go to mode, I'm still in degrees. Usually once you switch it, if you're still using the same calculator, it will still be in degrees. But if you ever switch calculators or like reset your calculator, it's always good to check. Alright, so I'm going to type 12. Then I'm going to hit the sine button this time. And I'm going to type 21 for 21 degrees, and I'm going to close that parenthesis. So the missing side length, let's round to the nearest tenth, so that's one place out. The 0 is not going to do anything, so the side is going to be 4.3. So my missing side length is 4.3 units. Look at that. And again, if you prefer Desmos, you just go to desmos.com. We're going to type the same thing in. I'm going to type 12, and then I'm going to type the word sine, S-I-N, and then I'm going to put 21. And look at that, we get 4.3 as well. So again, you can use Desmos or your graphing calculator. Also, don't forget on Desmos, you can get to the sine key by hitting the keyboard button and going to functions and clicking on, you have to go back to trig, and then sine. So that's another way you can get to the sine. So I can get to it that way and type 12 and 43. Or not 43, 21. Sorry. There you go. 4.3. Well, that's it, you guys. Let's move on to our next example problem. Toodaloo.